All right, so now that we've gone through that music piece, what I want to talk about next is actually the ultimate that you had the most fun learning. This is the one that from start to finish you enjoyed your time learning, not necessarily progging, but you can kind of throw that in too, because that'll kind of be its own topic later. But as you went through it, you love phase one. I love phase two. All of this was so fun to go through. So I want to talk about what your from least to favorite ultimate to prog through, or well, learn the phases more so.
Okay, well, is this technically cheating because it was just fun to prog so fast? Like, in addition, I liked the phases, and then, like, the second I had, like, thoroughly liked the phase, I was on to the next phase because I progged so fast, and that's T, because I literally, start to finish, cleared it in 5 days, and only 2 or 3 of those days were actually progging. Like, I didn't play FF14 for 2 of those 5 days. So I went so fast, like, I got to enjoy a phase, and then next phase, and then I got to enjoy that phase, and then I prog past that to the next phase. So that's a very unique one, for sure.
Progging is different than just learning the mechanics. Think about this as we're learning the mechanics. The spoiler, next one we'll talk about is actually progging through the fight. So just the mechanics themselves you can kind of think of it as learning the mechanics to go through, or what was your just had the most set of like these mechanics overall as continuity wise. Without putting it all together, what was your favorite just to learn the fights through? So for mine, my least favorite to go through and always will be UCOB. That's my least favorite to learn through. So for me, almost it's a D to learn that. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
learning.
I don't have anything specific.
Yeah, mine is Nail. Nail having to the in out.
Actually, I would say Nail is actually one of my more liked phases. I like Nail more than like basically any other phase in that fight.
Doing the phase is different than learning, right? So having to learn to read while you're trying to do your rotation and everything through there, that's why I hated that. Progging it, I agree. Like as the phase itself, learning it was the hurdle to get into. Like that was
so you're asking just how like annoyed are you when you see the mechanic for the first time because it's like not clear what's happening. You're like, man, what's even happening in this mechanic? Like if a lot of that's happening, that would rank low. That's what you'd say.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so I mean, one thing that really does not help Nail in that is the chariot. By the time like a second before the chariot animation even starts, you can already dash in because the snapshot is before the animation starts. It's like very wacky. So yeah, that part was annoying for sure. So yeah, which phase had the most jank as far as ranking alone? Which phase had the least amount of jank, which would make it rank higher? That's how I'm grading this chart then.
Oh yeah, that's very fair to put. I still think from there it's probably UCOB just because it's also the beginning, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's the very first one.
Yeah, the orbs, the twisters. It's all kind of whatever.
Correct. I don't. Like obviously we'll get to that later, but as far as like my favorite one, I don't think it's like my least favorite by any means, because it's not really a bad ultimate, right? Mm-hmm. It's just it definitely suffers from the beginning, right? I think to kind of cap off UCOB, it just never like learning the phases. The rest, there wasn't really anything I would find to be frustrating afterwards, right? I don't feel like any of them really was as enjoyable to learn, and that's kind of like these are the frustrating moments, and that's where like Nail just kind of I was like, oh my god, I have to read now, and I was kind of locked out of it, or clocked out. I was clocked out from that point because I was like, this whole phase for me is now kind of shot. Looking back, because this was the third one I did, I thought, okay, I think it would be a lot better if I redid it. I just don't. The enjoyability of learning it is just it was shot for me, and it kind of carried over for the remainder for me from the rest of the fight. That being said, none of it, the rest is as challenging as I feel is like phase 2, because once you get it, and especially the final phase where you're just moving from exaflares and you're kind of going in out, but that's more of a tank thing. It's not a lot to worry about.
Yeah.
So that's why I put that there.
It's gonna be tough for me to really grade the other ones because there's not like I feel like maybe of course but like there's not that much jankness to most of the other ones in my opinion. Maybe if I tank DSR I would think differently. I don't actually know. But
The worst thing I think that comes in next and would be the Primal Roulette itself. Sorry,
yeah,
not Primal. I just read it. I apologize. But Uwu in
yeah,
general, like goals probably, because if you're just
jails.
yeah, yeah, jail. Sorry. When you do
Oh
jails,
yes, I totally agree. It's even with the PFs that like big melons, it can still jank out.
we love big melons and PF. It's because you don't need. So to be clear, besides, I feel like just to have a better experience is the main reason people love having melons.
Yeah.
You don't really need it in any of them.
Yeah,
The argument
I've
I can
looked
see
into
is
it
top.
100%. If melons was wiped off the face of the earth, we could make strats that would work. And I want to specify not strats that involve one guy in a chair doing everything, because if that were the case, if the only alternative to melons is one guy in a chair marking everyone, then I would say just do the melons. But like there's been tons of examples where I've looked into them, like, yeah, you totally could have people mark themselves and have it work. Because there's a
Yep.
lot of in-game macros that can do very powerful things that people might not know. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, like for, what are we gonna do? Change the entirety of how all PF works? No, it's
Yeah, we're
melons
gonna
are
go on a
bust,
crusade right now.
unfortunately.
Okay. In general, I think for the rest of these, I know this might be kind of pushing this way forward on this, but I think we can go on to the next piece. I really think the rest of them are A, if not S for me, because there's not really a bad jank issue with any of these
Yeah.
going forward.
The-
I think it's once again, this goes into, well, I thought of one thing, but the rest of this is going into like as you're learning, because of like how frustrating it can be. These
I thought of
all
one.
yes, okay, so maybe in a minute, but I think the rest of these, so let me just caveat this then. At least the rest of these feel like they get the advantage of not being the first two. I think we
Yeah,
can both agree with
for
that.
sure.
And so that's where. So let's go with you. So what do you think you would, now that you're kind of thinking
Yeah.
again, what do you think would be one?
Well, the one in my head is P6 Omega. Just the fact that any death, well, technically you can have a melee death, but you can't really. Like any
Yeah.
non-melee death is an outright wipe, and the melee deaths is like a 98% wipe, and I just think that's just so shitty. Like, I don't like
Yep.
no other phase doesn't even come close to as brutal. Like technically, UCOB actually is pretty brutal in that sense, but that's assuming you have a death on the first mechanic, and even then, it's not a guaranteed wipe. You will still see Enrage. Whereas Omega, one death, the caster dies on the first mechanic, guaranteed wipe. Like you will not see Enrage, guaranteed wipe. You have a tank
Yep.
die 66% of the way into P6, it's a guaranteed wipe. Like
Yep.
at any point in P6 that the tank dies, other than the Enrage cast, it's a wipe. Like I don't know, I just think that's so punishing, and there's so many little things that can happen where it's like, okay, like with the mitt going wrong, and it's just, oh, you wipe because one single mitt went wrong. Like I just think that's kind of silly. And so
Yep.
that I consider that jank. It's not jank. It's clearly intended to not have a single death, but it's inherently jank when there's so many easy things that can go wrong that are kind of out of people's control. And so that's why I would consider Alpha Omega
learning
kind of in
experience.
that category.
Yeah, you learn pretty quick that it's unforgiving for top. Like the fight doesn't really begin until P5, for sure. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think it would be a B. Like high B, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think it's still, well,
Yeah, I just solidly in B. And
Yeah.
I would say the other ones, like, I don't have anything to complain about. Like, there's literally nothing I can think of in DSR for me to complain about as a melee off the top of my head.
I have one, and it's actually with stillness with T. The learning aspect of it, where you can see people like greet a stillness GCD, right? And then you try it for the, like, you try to get in one yourself, and you're just gonna screw up stillness. That can be
So-
frustrating.
Funny enough, I accidentally greeted that. In my clear, I auto attack. Like I'm not touching the keyboard.
Yeah,
Maybe you're
the
allowed to.
auto
Are you
attack.
allowed to auto attack
No,
with stillness?
no,
Yeah,
no.
I auto attack and I don't get punished for it.
Yeah. The unless it's just like a PF myth that's been going around, I've always been told, press S, move on from it. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can auto attack. Maybe in the comments below you can tell us if you can or not. But that is just something I've been told. Like, press escape, turn your controller around, throw it across the room. It don't do anything. But this right here is great because for me, I'm good with this, and I want to go on to the next point. But do you have anything else you think you can add to it?
The only thing to add is, so the diagrams that came out for Fru, of course, they did a great job at conveying how to do the mechanic, but there were a few points, like in CT, where the area you actually need to stand in is actually very precise, and the diagram just says, stand around here, like, dark, you're going to be generally northwest or northeast, where it's like, yeah. And I'm quoting an Arthas vid, because that was what I used as being, like, super helpful and, like, iron out the exact spot you should stand in. It's, you stand in the butt crack. Like, that's where you gotta stand. Like, it's not, like, around here. No, you are right up in the butt crack. That is the correct spot to stand for that mechanic. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so, that was a symptom of the, rating diagrams not being good enough, not a symptom of the mechanic being inherently janky or something. But it kind of felt that way, as we wiped to people being one step off because they didn't realize how precise they have to be. That's the only thing, but it's that's not something that I would dock it. I right now DSR and Fru are like equivalent to me. So.
Yep. So with this, I agree with this, and now we can move on to the other half of this. Now I want to talk about the actual progging of it. So learning it and then now progging that specifically. This can be from your experiences in PF to your experiences with learning with a group and how that went. I know you and I both have progged separately in and together in PF and together in actual preformed groups. Yep. So it's your raw, unfiltered, how your experience with progging the fight overall. I'll start on this one. My least favorite experience on this, with not saying that the fight is bad, so I want to be very clear, but what this did do for me is I think that, man, I really think that progging Fru was my least favorite experience.
It was absolutely brutal, but that was because of literally PF APOC and literally nothing else. It was not even close.
It's crazy to think here. Yeah, absolutely enough. It's crazy to think here because of that phase specifically, it probably added like 10 hours of PF time to me. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, it's gotta be more than that. I don't actually know how to measure it, but it was so much.
Oh yeah. And the thing is that, well, I think actually you can go to Tombstone and they can show you like your time frames.
Yeah, you can kind of see like how far down the bar goes to see how long you were generally on each.
It's got to be, log has to be so far for me. But regardless, it's not that. Look, I get it. When I did it as tank, I got there and I was able to do it. Right.
Yep.
And then like it's frustrating.
And you were able to do it, and so you saw through the mechanic, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, and you never had to worry about it again until the next pull when you wiped on P4 for your time, and you never see P3 like past APOC again in that PF you're in. My God.
Oh no, what I meant is you did it right, but you needed a few more people to do it right.
That's very fair. Yes, because I get a tank, specifically the off tank, having the issue there because you have to do like APOC plus here, right? Yep. Where you have to then bait the, what is it? The darkness.
Dance.
What is it called?
Darkest dance.
Darkest dance. Yep. You have to bait the darkest dance into that little butt crack, into like the APOC puddles in between, and then like go away, make sure you're emitting correctly because you can't just invuln it generally there. So that's the tough piece, right? That's the tough one, and that might be one of the toughest like mechs for any ultimate period for specifically the off tank.
I would say right there, APOC. So if you measure mechanic by how difficult it is after you're in PF, after you're in a party where everyone knows the mechanic, I would rank it as one of the hardest mechanics in the game. And so another one is P5 Omega. Omega of Omega. Where is it?
Yes.
There we go. Dynamis
Yeah.
Omega. I would actually, should I drag this up now? I don't know what
Oh
order we're
yeah,
going.
we might as well. That's gonna come up next. That's coming up next for me anyway.
Now, here's the thing. As
So
far as enjoyability for Omega, like I don't think it was unenjoyable. So I don't know how to
no,
actually
it's
grade
just
it.
what's next for me. We can leave it there. Just leave it on B for now. It's fine. We'll just leave it as a placeholder, and we'll come to it in a minute.
Okay.
But as far as just to cap off through, my enjoyment with this was heavily diminished, like my Prog enjoyment, heavily diminished because of like APOC. CT, I was locked in. Like I understood where to go. You helped me understand it from the start. And then from there, just understanding like generally what you're trying to accomplish. CT, even in PF, I know this isn't the same for everybody because I knew somebody. I don't know if you remember the guy that I was like kind of prog with in P4, and I just
CT
flew
was
past
definitely
him.
a wall, but it was
Yeah.
not even remotely as much of a wall as APOC for me. At
It's
least.
in a PF cannot do APOC. That is just it is impossible. I am so sorry. Get a group and just get through APOC. You don't need to care about anything else. Just move past it. Get the passport. Move on. So CT for me, progging once again not bad. Finishing the fight, not bad. Anything all around in between, just to cap off through. Overall, I enjoyed. It's just progging APOC made me just want to blow my brains out. It was absolutely frustrating, and that's all I gotta say about Fruit. That's why that's there. And I don't know if I would say F because the rest was fine, but it's a definite D for me. So I think for me, like Fru D on Prog. That was definitely my experience.
I mean, so like for me, progging through, I enjoy progging P1. I enjoyed progging P2. I enjoy progging Ultimate Relativity. Really didn't enjoy APOC. I enjoyed Darklit. I enjoyed CT. I enjoyed P5. Like, it's literally just APOC for me, so it's hard for me to say I didn't enjoy progging through, you know?
Well, we can say we'll put it in C then. We'll come in into C. I think we'll label that one on.
Yeah,
well, we
this
can throw
represents the
APOC
entirety
away
of
and just put.
Fruit.
Yeah. So we'll just do that. I think that's fair because if anything, the highest ranking I would give it was maybe a C minus. You know, so that's where I'm at with it. So I think we're probably in both agreement for our next lowest one, but I think it would be top. Would be the next, unless you have a different feeling on it.
Yeah, I already brought up Dynamis Omega, so why not?
Yep. All right. So why don't you kick us off on it? So why do you think wherever it may land, why top, and why do you feel like it?
Okay, so how do we really grade this? Because we had sims to help us through it, which, oh my god, imagine if we didn't have a sim to help us through P5 Omega, like, it would have sextupled
that's
our
something
time.
to bring up too, because, I mean, I would assume you'll get a definite handful of people that will never sim in a PF like thing. People have the ability to sim the big choke points. Very great sims, by the way, solo sims with through.
I did not have an APOC sim, to be fair, when I was doing it, but yes.
Well, you did. You just didn't use it for some reason.
No, like I'm pretty sure the APOC one did not exist at the time because I remember the links in the Lesbian, like it did not have any other options than the one I clicked, as far as I remember.
Oh,
at the time.
You know, okay, fair. So let's assume it's on there. That's fair. At the time I did it though, people definitely had it. Okay, and that was still an issue. Going back to top though, that Prog, I agree. I think the issue with progging is all about P5. It really is.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. Like it's not bad. Like I don't even think APOC is bad, right? But P5 is just the same wall you have at like APOC, except it's just longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole P5.
Yeah.
Because especially after the initial like after the initial P5, what is that called? Which one is that again? Is it Delta? Right?
Mm-hmm.
As Delta begins, there is very niche opportunity for like 1 or 2 people to die in there, but then you're just so far behind you might as well reset anyway. In some cases, it just all depends on who gets that. They're the ones that somehow are the only ones that die, and it doesn't mess up the puzzle mechanic. It's all of that together. we had an instance where once or twice that happened and we were good, but it's just, man, like, even with a good group that we did, well, I did and then brought you to finish, it's tough. Like, you're on edge the whole time, and it's good and bad. I would personally...
There's definitely a lot of, and here we go, when we get to that point.
Yep. Yep. Okay. But it's like, and here we go, and here we go, and here we go. And I don't think it's bad, but I think it can definitely even hinder some people on their experience with it. For me, I don't think it's a C. I think it's a B. Like, at best, a B plus for my experience. But because just for the fact that as the group going through it, I had a lot of help. I had people that, like, I mean, you did as well. I remember, like, you and I sat like 2 to 3 hours all of P5 together and just simming that. And that did it. Like, that made it a lot better. And, you know, you still have like the live jitters and we might mess up here or there, right? But it was clean. We got to P6 really quickly after seeing P5. To this date, top is my second fastest cleared ultimate, and it shows. Yeah.
I don't think I have that measured for me. I definitely have. T is definitely number 1.
Oh, for sure. And probably Uwu then, right?
Yeah, Uwu was pretty fast too. Uwu was like 2.5 weeks or something like that.
So for me, we don't have to move it yet, but for me, I would definitely be putting Omega, like the Prog thing, onto B. That's where I'm putting it. So what do you think?
Well, for me, I don't have like some crazy traumatizing experience for like just the APOC trauma is just so intense compared to Omega. And well, we had our own issues with like the DC and Omega, but is that really a progging issue? I don't know.
Oh my!
It's not a progging issue, right. You know? So,
yeah. I guess that is definitely number 1 trauma. Just signed up for everybody. So basically, Stress was in P6. I caught up to him with the group I was in, and then Stress just joined us because it was better than PF, right?
Yeah.
So at the time we got there, we were ready to clear. I saw P6 of top the most of any final phase. I mean, it's tough to say with Uwu, but like I would consider like the final phase of Uwu to be the roulettes, right? And the roulette I saw 2 to 3 times I was in. P6, I saw P6 of top I think 6 times before I cleared, just because there was like we clean meteors dropped, we were done. Before I could do before specifically the tanks and healers could do like finish their limit breaks, I think we got to the final healer one and then IDC, so we lose the limit break, like the final one that we could do for DPS, and you guys wiped, because you were there still, you guys wiped at a 1%, is that right?
Yeah something like that.
So we went through the supports LBs and then IDC, thank God, but we still wiped because it was I was just gone. My Brotherhood was gone.
We lost melee LB3, and of course, Mista was just gone for the last, you know, how long is the enrage cast bar? Is it like 40 seconds? Like Mista was gone for 40 seconds and no melee LB3.
Yep, and Brotherhood. I'm playing Monk during that time, so we lost that major party buff too. So it was rough. So if that was traumatizing, that's an F for me for sure, but it's not a Prog problem. That was just the first time I ever thought I was going to break down because of a fight. 100%.
No, actually, we're forgetting about UCOP. UCOP Prog was pretty, in my opinion, now that I think about it.
Okay. Like, I don't think it was bad as
we were stuck on Heaven's Fall, and so like I don't know, it was just so, you know, it was nothing like APOC, but it did kind of suck. Like every time, like, all right, here's Heaven's. Oh no, we're dead. All right, here's Heaven's.
This is a good example. Yeah, this is a good example of a party, like a group, failing a mechanic. So Stress and I were in the party together, and we had gotten up to that point, and we just one person always can just not get knocked back correctly. Heaven's Fall, I don't even think it's tough. Like
I don't even like it
in
as a
general,
mechanic. It's just not even a fun
no.
mechanic to do. Like, I hate every part of Heaven's Fall. It's not fun to
Yeah, like you
do.
get
PF can't do it. It's just a mess.
the party couldn't do it. No, I agree. I don't think it's. I think it's actually less than top. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would move
Top above
Bahamut
it.
as
Yeah.
a word. Yeah, 100%. I think you're right. That one, yeah, 100%. And so just to cap off top, beyond that, the Prog wasn't that bad. I also don't think top
No.
was this immeasurable, you can't do this fight, you're gonna be on it for years, that everyone made it out
Yes,
to be.
but no other fight has maybe like on edge like top has. Like P5 top, like
Correct.
I literally just like it's just
Locked in. Yep. No, I agree. So now going on to you, Cobb. You can talk through this one if you'd like. Through this
well,
one.
it was really just Heaven's Fall. It's a wall in a way that doesn't feel good, and so it's just kind of whatever. Like I would say, the whole thing with the Quick March, Blackfire. I'm forgetting the other one. Then Heaven's Fall. Then
Does it really matter?
Yeah, just all of them in a row. It's just all right. We're doing this combo. Like I don't know. Like compared to other phases, like P5 Omega, where it's like, okay, we're doing these phases. Like in P3 of UCOB, you're kind of just going through the motions. Like, all right, Quick March time. All right, oh, we have them right here. Blackfire time, Fell Ruin time, Heaven's Fall time, 10 Strike time, and then to be fair, Grand Arc does feel a little more hype. But the first five, it's just like you're just kind of
the running
going through the
around.
motions.
But then again, it's like you run around, right? And then you end, and then you take towers. But it's like you're just tank LBing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but like I feels like more is happening because you're doing the lap, and then everyone spreads out. I don't know, a little bit more going on compared to the other ones.
No, I can agree. All right, I think we're good on these. So now we have the final three. Prog wise, I think my next one's Uwu for sure.
Okay. Look, Uwu was pretty forgettable for me. It it was pretty inoffensive. There were some parties that couldn't do Ifrit, but then like once you get through those, you're just kind of set. Like I did like a session to see Ifrit, and then a session that was stuck on Ifrit, and then a Titan session, and then like maybe one or two Ifrit trap parties. Then some Titan parties, like one Titan party.
No jail issues? Could people still complain about PF and jails even today?
Yeah, there were plenty of jail issues, but like once you get through them, like anytime I was on a consistent Ultima weapon phase party, there were no issues on jails at that point.
I don't really have much to add to it. To me, it was just neutral. I agree with you. There was like suppression was a little annoying to go through. It's one of the few times you as a tank that you in any ultimate you're just kind of not doing anything.
I died on suppression in my clear actually.
Okay, were you tanking on that? No, you were healing on that one, right?
I was healing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's neutral. That's not bad. It's not really that great. It's okay. Like Prog overall,
it's just kind of forgettable. Like Primal Roulette I did on my first try, which every single other final phase I think I haven't. Well, no, yeah, every single other final phase I have done at least one mistake. Well, to be fair, all of Ultima Weapon is the final phase. I don't know how you consider it because Ultima Weapon is like 3 phases in one. But I did Primal Roulette first try, whereas like. Well, it's not an equivalent thing at all, because the equivalent to that would be Trines for Alexander, which I did do first try, but I'm talking about the whole phase, so it's actually not 1-to-1 at all, so it doesn't matter.
So I would say for this, the biggest thing for me, I guess it's just neutral. I don't really have anything to add. Now, what I will say, it is very almost close to it, but Dragon King Thornton, aka DSR, is probably high A to almost an S. For the
I just had nothing but fun progging it. It was just prog a few sessions where we going up.
Yep.
And
absolutely. There was not a bad time for that. This is the first ultimate. Well, I guess that we get to here at least in this tier list that I'm saying there is not a time where I had a bad time progging. There was nothing that was frustrating. From learning to going through it at all. It was just a fun prog. It was consistent prog. Even though we did a party with it, right? Still, there was not a bad moment to prog that fight. It was fun
Yeah,
all
and
the way.
I did plenty of PF, and I had no complaints about PF. My clear was actually in PF. Like, it was actually very
Oh yeah,
wholesome
yeah.
overall.
Yeah, and I mean, and technically mine was too. It was just me and one person from our group that was win. So I cleared it too in PF minus just one person.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just fun. Even as much as we dogged earlier about the song from the final phase, it's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best final phases. Like,
and it's best, but also chill. Whereas like P6
Yeah.
is so stressful because you're not allowed to die. It's like so ridiculous. Like,
P6
of course,
top, you mean?
Yes. I don't know what did I say?
You just didn't. You just said besides P6, that's it. You just
Yeah,
didn't
P6 stop. Yeah.
say-
Like, well, it
Oh,
was actually
man.
nice
I
as a
just had
melee.
flashbacks to Peru
P7
learning
as a melee is fun.
Final phase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But
Well,
anyway,
yeah, with Fru,
we'll
with
get
the
to final
X-
phases
X's,
later, though.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we'll get to final phases in a little bit. But yeah, no, it was just, I understand why people say it's the best ultimate. I get it. And especially I think it would probably be more, not saying it wasn't, but I could see it being more fun progging DSR, like the week 1s or 2s to 3s, you know? I could even see that being just as fun. I think this has one of the most fun of just progging for me in general, minus T. I think T, just to get there, T was an S. I think from...
Well, I have a unique situation with T, like I already said. So
Okay.
yeah,
I
for
could
Prog,
wrap mine through it.
100% T's S.
Yes. I think... It's funny you put that because of Uwu being lower, but it's because you were pretty quick with
For me,
both.
Uwu is just most of the mechanics. You're just like you really are just standing there for a lot of the mechanics, so it's just so forgettable. Whereas like T, you're constantly doing things for every mechanic and seeing good prog. So
I think, for example, like this one is, it's like a culmination of a lot. But when just talking about progging, like getting through it, this was the first time I got really good at limit cut. You know, like you kind of, this is one of the harder limit cuts in the game, I feel like. I could be missing something, but I definitely think it's up there. And I think it's very, definitely, I think it's the most unique period limit cut in any fight. Just because of how you have to go around the wall and you have to go back and forth, like get shot, and then the other side shot, and the same. I think it's visually appealing. Regardless, I don't think it was that crazy. Like when we got there in my group and we prog limit cut, I wasn't just baffled by it, and I even had fun with it because I don't know if you've seen people do some crazy ass limit cut movement, but how they can just dart across midway and not get hit by the certain circles in the middle and everything. It's so fun to watch. I did that once I died, but I wanted to bait, someone had baited wrong. So I had gone across and shot, like sprinted. I was like, okay, we're either all gonna die, and I was tanking at the time. Like, we're either all gonna die or I'm gonna die just, going across. But either way, we're dead. So they were on the wrong spot and they got shot. So I went to try and just bait it elsewhere, and I got it. We died to the transition because unfortunately someone else had died, I guess either from watching or wasn't paying attention, I don't know. But we didn't have enough mint. But it was so fun to get just to min-max also your movement with puddles, right? Like how far you can go forward if you're up front. All of that was so fun. From even the other limit cut of Wormhole. Well, I guess
I like that one's even more intense.
One, right? Yeah, I'm gonna take that back. Limit cut, I think it's visually maybe the most unique, but definitely Wormhole is the tougher limit cut in the game. Actually, I'm thinking about
it's cool. It's a lot cooler to see Wormhole limit cut done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just seeing everyone just do it, basically, I think the vibe for me when I first saw it was when I first saw the limit cut, I'm like, oh wow, there's a limit cut. It's like, oh, complicated stuff going on there. When I saw Wormhole, I'm like, ooh, what's going on in Wormhole right now? Oh, there's a limit cut also in addition to everything else going on in the mechanic. Holy shit. Yeah. That was the vibe for me.
And I think that's the tough piece is like the tough ones probably wormhole with T, and that I mean, you know, simming with that made that easy as well. But doing it felt really good too. Like when you're in sync and everyone's doing that shit correctly, that is so fun. And I still think it's probably the toughest limit cut in the game, for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just think overall S tier for T. That's where I'm at with it. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, clearing in 5 days and enjoying every mechanic, it's just nothing can really top that. So we'll
Yeah.
have to see for the next one.
All right, so let's get on to the next one here.